Hi y'all, it's Kim, your independent designer with Chalk Couture and Chalk is Chic. We are going to get this pulled up really quick and shared over onto our VIP page. If you are joining me live or on a replay, you can type in the word hashtag live or hashtag replay. And if you are not an independent designer with Chalk Couture, you are more than welcome to share this video if you see fit. But we're going to do a throwback, and the reason I say a throwback is because this, my friends, was in the last chance section and it is gone. So if you are a club member, you can go purchase anything in the last chance section for 50% off through the end of May while supplies last. Hey Kim, hey Mel. But it is while supplies last. So the reason I say this is a throwback, this transfer is gone, baby, gone. It is no longer available. I was actually excited to get this one, and then I saw it was gone, so then I'm kind of like not happy about it, but it will be okay. We're still going to do it, and it comes in a big size e-transfer. It's called Freedom. We're going to do the corn on the cob and the watermelon one tonight. That's the one we're going to do. Hey Nicole. But everything that is in the last chance section for transfers is 50% off for club members. So this one was there and it is gone. So I am very thankful I got it. But we are just cutting it apart. I don't know if you can see that, but I'm cutting it right there on that cut mark because we're only going to work with half of this transfer. One of the cool things I love is I can totally take this transfer and Abigail, come over here. Come this way. Come sit down in your bed. Come sit in your bed. I can totally take this transfer and use different parts on it. I don't have to do the whole thing. I can take the word freedom. I can do all kinds of other stuff. Hey Wendy. Hey Terry. But we're going to use this whole section. Memorial Day has a different meaning for a lot of people. And throughout the rest of this weekend, we are going to be working with anything red, white, and blue, anything freedom related, and that's how we're going to roll. So we're going to work in sections on this. There is some big time sections that we're going to be doing, and hopefully y'all can see the whole entire project. It's hard to maneuver sometimes when they're really big. But we're going to do corn on the cob, watermelon, sparklers, red, white, and blue, and then freedom. So we're going to be working on the whole entire process, but we are going to be doing sections. So we do want to start first by fuzzing our transfer. And as you know, I did clean off this board. Believe it or not, a Happy Camper was on here, if y'all remember us demoing that. Hey Yvonne. So we are going to give this a pull off the backer sheet. And to get started with that, we are just going to take our transfer and turn it upside down where our sticky side is facing up. And we are going to fuzz. Fuzz. But I hope y'all are doing well. This week has been a very weird week, because I know that I've said this before on my lives, but ever since we started wearing masks at work, I have been battling migraines really bad. And I finally got some medication changes done, so I'm hoping that that is going to help. Hey Tiffany. But I have been live later than I wanted to be, for sure. Okay, so we have it fuzzed. We are going to take our transfer, and we're going to go ahead and get it positioned on our board. I'm just making sure I don't have any excess stuff on there. But we're going to be doing probably one of my favorite techniques to teach, my favorite techniques to do, and that is the chalk pull method. The chalk pull method is your friend, especially when you are new to Chalk Couture or you are working with multiple colors that need to be done in multiple sections. So it's possible to make your stuff super fantastic and neat without stressing. You do not have to stress at all. So I'm not going to be worried about pushing down everything else right now because we're going to do each section at a time. Corn on the cob, of course, y'all, we're going to hit it with some yellow because we want to make this bright and kind of cheerful. I think we're going to use buttermilk for that one. Oh my gosh, I haven't done. They're going to start me, Terry, on Emgality. I had to think of the name of it because I have not heard of it. I've done a lot of research. Of course, you know me. Being in nursing, you have to do your research, but I've done a lot of research on it, and it sounds interesting because of it being prohibiting like the whatever protein, the binding protein thing. So it's going to be interesting. I haven't started on it yet. I just know that the new migraine medicine is actually working. I think I plateaued on my other one, which is no fun, but it's going to be a better day. Okay, I may send you a message after this is over if you don't mind. So we're going to do corn on the cob in buttermilk. And then we are going to do a chalk pull. So if you are watching and you have not done a chalk pull method or seen it done, it is basically a fun method or technique that I love to teach. I love to show because y'all, back in the day when I first started doing Chalk Couture, I started in July of 2018. It was probably almost 6 months before I ever tried a big transfer. I would do the size B and size A transfers, but this right here is the equivalent of a size C, and it's a 12 by 18. I wouldn't do them. I was petrified of them. And then I was trying to do it all at one time, and I had never ever heard of the chalk pull method before. Well, by golly, when I learned that there was actually a method to make life not like where you want to pull your hair out, I embraced it, and I love teaching it. I love doing this method. I love teaching this method. It's just a game changer. So now I dry between mine. A lot of times you're going to see designers and they'll pull back the transfer and they'll lay it back down. I always dry. I just feel much better about it because inevitably I always tend to find the wet chalk paint or paste. I don't care if it's not intentional. I always find wet chalk paste. Always. Like, it's just, I'm destined to find it. If there's wet chalk paste, I'm going to find it. Okay, so we've got that part done. So our next part we're going to focus on is watermelon. So watermelon, when I think about watermelon, I think about red and green. I don't think about just red. And I do think about the little seeds, but there's not really a way for us to incorporate that. So I am going to go over these letters really quick again. Now, I'm a feeler. I like to feel my transfer instead of using a squeegee, but you can use a squeegee for this. And there is actually a piece of fuzz right there. I don't know that I would or wouldn't have felt that with a squeegee, but there is definitely a piece of fuzz. But I like to feel, that's just me, that's how I roll. Everybody's different when it comes to this method, so I am going to show you how you do it with a squeegee as well. Some people prefer to use a squeegee. I prefer to use my fingers. So if you're going to use a squeegee, you just take a dry squeegee, no chalk paste, and you're going to go over your area that you're going to be chalk. Now, I will tell you, if it's a minor bump because you have a minor piece of fuzz, it's going to be really hard to feel with a squeegee. That's one of the reasons why I go over it with my hands. That's just me. That's how I roll. Everybody is different when it comes to that. So we are going to take, I'm going to take a brighter green only because, let me see. I think I'm going to do that green. We're going to go, well, I don't know. That looks very Christmassy. I don't know. I'm going to let y'all choose. Do you think we should do this meadow or rainforest with some poppy? So if you are still watching, you can comment and let me know if you think we should do rainforest with poppy. I think those two would kind of look good together. Or meadow with poppy for our watermelon. So we're basically going to do an ombre effect and do kind of green or red into green where it looks like a watermelon. And I totally got yellow chalk paste on that. Hopefully somebody's still watching. Meadow, unless I have eucalyptus. I do have eucalyptus. I just never pictured that with, I don't know. I never pictured that with watermelon. I think I like the meadow. We'll do meadow. We'll do meadow, meadow, meadow. Let me stir these up really quick. So sparklers, I think, and see, I thought rainforest too. I don't know. Maybe I should do a blend of them. Maybe I should do a blend and do my, almost like the rind into the, I don't know. I kind of like rainforest a little bit. I'm going to look at that one more time. Poppy is bright. I chose bright because this is what I think of. I don't think of a dark red when I think about watermelon. I think of a bright red, which poppy is definitely different than our true candy apple red. This one just reminds me so much more of watermelon. I think rainforest too, and then I think rainforest would be really dark on that board. So, yeah, I think rainforest is going to be so dark. So I'm going to keep with meadow that's a little bit lighter. And I'm just stirring these up, making sure that we have good consistency. You want it to be Greek yogurt or sour cream like. Super, super easy. So we're just going to do an ombre effect going from poppy into meadow. So all I'm going to do is hit half of the watermelon with poppy at the top. So it's easy peasy. This part of chalking is the real simple part. The hardest part is making sure you get all this done before it dries. So we are squeegeeing on, and then we're going to do the same thing right here. Squeegee on that color. And this is the fun part. I'm not too stressed about everything else, but we're just going to ombre these two colors together. Make sure they're cute, nice and blended. I am going to go over this poppy color one more time. Make sure I don't have any excess on there because that would look awful. And if you really want to get technical, you can kind of go right here. Not put it back in your jar. And there we have it. We have a little bitty boo-boo on the R, but we can fix that. We will be able to fix it. Let me give this a quick dry. Probably could have come down a little bit further with my poppy color where it looked a little bit more watermelon-y, but it's still cute. So I'm going to show you how I fix this really quick on the R. Alright, so let me grab my fuzzing towel I don't care about. I have one that has all kinds of chalk paste all over it. So I'm going to put covers on my jars of paste really quick, and let me just show you super fast how we can fix this R. So a lot of people freak out if you have something that happens and you have it go underneath your transfer, which I'll show you that. I'll hold it up where you can see it. Right here there had to have been either an air pocket or a piece of fuzz, one of the two. I'm going to venture to guess an air pocket just by the way it looks. But you can see chalk paste ran underneath it. It's going to if it does not have a good seal. However, this is not detrimental to our project. What I do to fix these mistakes, because they do happen, instead of washing off the whole thing because it's not necessary, is I take a popsicle stick and I just knock off the part that I don't need on there anymore. So all I do is take a popsicle stick, rub up against the edge where I don't need it anymore, knock off that chalk paste. Super, super easy. Same thing right there. And if you want to get super technical, you can take the end of a popsicle stick, and I use wet baby wipes, and just go over that little bitty area right there, and it gets off any excess debris. Okay? Super, super easy. Now my R looks like it's supposed to. No issues, and I can roll on to my next project. So I will tell you, the last one I'm going to do is going to be sparklers. The reason for this is because we are going to be using shimmering silver for sparklers, and shimmering silver takes a little bit of time to dry. When I say a little bit of time, in the South it takes a lot of time to dry. So I'm going to do sparklers very, very last, because I want it to be my very, very, very last thing I pull up. I want to pull up this transfer and be able to leave it off. So I don't want to try to have to dry and all of that stuff. So the next part I am going to do is red, white, and blue. I bet you cannot guess what colors I'm going to use for red, white, and blue. Red, white, and blue, for sure. So I'm going over these colors, over the transfer, just to make sure. Now, I'm not going to reuse Poppy. I'm going to go with our true red, which is candy apple red. Of course, white is what it is. We're going to have white, and then blue. I am probably, let me see how, I think I'm going to stick with Blue Jay. It is a bright blue. It's not dark like your navy, but it's a bright blue. So I'm going to stick with Blue Jay for that, white for white, and then candy apple red for our red. So we have a lot of red, white, and blue, but we still do have a lot of colors, and they're gorgeous. I'm just stirring up chalk paste really quick. I know, right? Pink, turquoise, and yellow. I could throw people off and be like, throwing some other colors on there. Alright, we have red, white, and blue. Let me just make sure red is good. Y'all, I stirred 60 plus jars of chalk paste for the Chalkathon. So most of my paste should be pretty spectacular, because it's only been stirred about a week ago. But sometimes you never know how things look. You just gotta make sure. So I am stirring up candy apple really quick. It is full, so I'm going to be a little bit extra careful with this. Alright, so we're going to do the same thing that we did over here. We are doing a chalk pull method, and the reason for that, again, is if this dries and the paste dries on top of the transfer, it's going to be pulled up whenever we pull up our transfer. So we want to do red first, and because I'm going in color and not just one fell swoop for one color, we are going to pull between every single color. So I am going to do red there. I'm also going to do red for our and sign, and that's just to break up that blue and white. So let me go ahead and lift from the bottom versus the top this time. And I love the detail on this, guys. The detail that we get from our Chalk Couture transfers, you can't really get from vinyl. All of the little distressing and the different things that you get, you cannot get it with vinyl. Hey Pam, you're just in time, my friend. I'm showing everybody the chalk pull method. So we're going to let that fall back down where it may. I'm not going to stress out about everything else. The only thing I want to focus on is just the letters I'm chalking, because we're going to pull up again. So there's no point in me pushing down this, pushing down this. We don't need to push down anything else other than what we're working with. So we're going to do white next. Oh my goodness. So that's what happens when you have better fingers. It'll be okay, but I just dropped my squeegee in my jar of paste. And people wonder why I have 1,000 things of squeegees, because things like that happen. I have a bunch of squeegees for a reason. Alright, let's get another one, because I'm not going to try to clean that one right now. We're going to chalk white, white. And again, I'm just chalking this one word we're working on. I don't want to chalk the whole thing because it is going to dry if I do. If I keep on trying to chalk, it's going to dry. And then when I go to pull up my transfer, all of that paste is going to dry on my silk screen. And that silk screen is what's closest to my, my silk screen is what's closest to my board. So it's not going to allow stuff to stay on. It's going to pull up with it. So you've got to do the chalk pull method to prevent that from happening. So let's give that a quick dry. Now again, you're going to see some people will pull this up and just lay it back down. I'm not that girl. I like to pull it up, dry it a little bit, and then lay it back down. Now I will tell you and give you a word of caution. You want to make sure you're very careful and that you don't dry toward your silk screen transfer, because that is an adhesive and it can melt it. You don't want to do that. So we're going to use Blue Jay next for our blue. This should be a really pretty blue. I think I've used this once on a chalkboard already. I really can't remember. I think I've used it on black, but I'm not sure if I used it on black or if I used it on white. Alright, so there is that pretty blue. That is a gorgeous blue. Blue Jay is one of our in vogue colors. It comes for the season of the catalog and then it goes away. So it is a gorgeous, gorgeous blue though. Super pretty. Oh my gosh. Let me move my arm so you can see it. But that is a really pretty blue. Okay, so now we have to worry about freedom. So let's see how many. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 letters. I don't really want to do an ombre effect. I think what I'm going to do on this one is every other letter, and this is going to take me a second to do, but I think I'm going to do every other letter, red, blue, red, blue, red, blue, and our little coming off of the letters I want to do in white, which, my friends, that is a little ambitious, but it will look super cute. So what I am going to do is, I mean, when I say ambitious, I mean ambitious. Let's see. The easiest way for me to do this, really truly, is do one letter and then pull it up, but we are going to be using a multi-tool for this one. And I may do one letter and say forget this, but I think it will look cute to do it this way. I just don't know how easy it is going to be to not get these lines. I mean, I think it's going to be one of those things that I'm like going to be so happy when it's done, but it's going to be ambitious. So I am using a multi-tool. And again, if I had way plenty placement tape, which it's in my order on its way to me, I would use placement tape instead. Let me see what this looks like before I keep on this path that I'm on. And it is a lot of work, I know. Let me just see what it looks like. Okay. Woo, it's a lot of work. But it's going to look cute, I think. So what I'm going to do is, hey Jennifer, what I'm going to do is every other letter we're going to be doing red, and every other letter, we're going to be doing blue. So I'm going to skip a letter. I'm going to go on to my next one and get all the reds done. Then we're going to come back and get all the stuff laid down for white. And to be honest with you, we don't have to have the white part, but I think the white part will look cute, so we will probably do it. But again, this is super, super, super duper ambitious of me, especially to do it on a live, but I have nowhere else to be tonight. So I'm using our multi-tool, and instead of using placement tape to mark off all of this, and in fact I can zoom in just a second. As soon as I get done with this E, I'll zoom in for y'all for a second. I just don't want to forget and leave zoom on, because then you can't see the whole project. But I'll do it for one of the letters. So this is a lofty, lofty, lofty goal and task to do. I'm using the multi-tool to get each and every letter chalked a different color, and then the little detail that you see is going to be done in white. And that's probably the loftiest of all loftiest goals I've done most recently. Hey Mandy. But it's crazy. But I think it's going to be so super stellar cute that I'm going to be so excited that I did it once it's all done that I won't even remember that I had this bad judgment call. So, the only thing that would be really bad is if I accidentally didn't skip a letter. So, y'all can see this. I am going to zoom in super quick. I'm going to try to stay out of your way where you can see what I'm doing. Hopefully. At least for this one letter, I'll zoom in and then I'll zoom back out. Okay, so I am taking my letter, making sure that it's pushed down, but all of this that has the lines, I'm going to end up chalking white eventually in just a minute. But I'm using our multi-tool, which is really, really small, and I literally am just as small as you can be, chalking and trying to stay away from the lines. Now the cool thing is if I accidentally chalk one of the lines, I can clean it off relatively quick without it being a big fiasco. But the multi-tool works kind of like a pencil, so it makes life so much easier. I am just trying to stay away from the lines. Like somebody's talking to somebody, like stay back away from the edge, get away from the edge. I was never one that enjoyed, like, I don't mind coloring now as an adult. It's a stress relief, but as a young kid, I hated coloring and having to stay in the lines and stuff. This reminds me of that. So over here, I can get a little bit frisky because I'm not close to lines and I can stay away from it. Hopefully y'all are able to see that okay. But I just want to make sure I get all of my letter without getting the line. I'm going to go back around, make sure I get any excess off, wipe off my multi-tool, because you don't want that junk really thick. You don't want paste really, really thick. So we're going to give that a quick pull. And voila. So once we get done with this part, we're going to go back with the white. I feel like the white will be a little bit easier to do. We'll just have to see. Hopefully. And what we may end up doing, to be quite frank with you, is cleaning off the transfer at the bottom. Only because if you see all the stuff that is like there, it's going to end up being kind of hard to get around it without it being a really, really big deal. So we may clean off the transfer before we start doing the white. I am, for this part right here, because you see how close that is, I am going to put a little bit of placement tape right there just to cover up that M aspect. There's a lot to this M. So thank God there's only one M. Woo, count your blessings. Because this M looks challenging, folks. But the nice thing about that placement tape, look how quick I can go over this spot right there. I mean, that's like super stellar fast. Because there's no lines for me to worry about bumping into. But we're just chalking away using our multi-tool, doing this ever so cautiously. If you ever get to a point though where you think you're going to dry, I'm going to show you this really quick with this one since we have such a big letter here. So if you're halfway through a letter or something like that and you're still new and you're like, oh my gosh, it's going to dry, I'm freaking out. It's okay, my friends. I promise. Let me show you this really quick. So you can pull it up. You can do half of a letter. No worries. Gonna dry it really quick. You gotta make sure your board is not hot when you put your transfer back down. But say you got through half of a letter and you're like, whew, that was a lot of work. I don't know if I can keep on doing that. All you have to do is pull up, put your transfer back down, and continue on just like you never even pulled up that transfer. So that is how easy the chalk pull method is. It is definitely one of my favorites to teach, one of my favorites to use, because like I said, I was petrified to do a big transfer when I first started. I mean, it took me months and months and months. And my very first transfer, I will never forget, was bushel and a peck. And I think I did that thing probably 6 times before I ever figured out that there was a chalk pull method. And I'm like, why didn't anybody ever tell me this? So I teach this a lot because it is one of the things that I wish I would have learned a long time before I did my first mess up. So we're going to give this a pull. Hey, Krista. And we're going to dry that. So like I said, we're probably going to clean off this. We're going to see how far we get and what happens. We may not need to by the time we get done, but we'll see. We will see. So we are done with all of that. I'm going to pull off that placement tape. We are back over here to our R. And so let me get some chalk paste covered up really quick because we don't need the red anymore. I'm going to make sure my Blue Jay is still good because I sat here with it with the lid off for quite a bit. Let me make sure it's still good. And let me zoom back out so y'all can see. It's not fun if you're up close and you can't see what I'm doing on all of the board. So we are going to use another multi-tool and we are going to start chalking away. So again, we're going to just not go super slow, but you don't want to go super fast either. You just want to work at a pace where you know you're not drying, and if you're going to dry, you want to be pulling it up, because if you dry, it's not going to do you any good. You're going to have to redo it. So we are just squeegeeing on, squeegeeing off ever so slightly, because again, we're using a multi-tool just to avoid those lines because we want to chalk those in white. And like I said, it is a very lofty little goal that I created on this live. I didn't plan on doing that, but I think it's going to look stellar, and then I'm going to be super excited that I did it live. So I'm trying not to get in these lines, but it is very, very not the easiest thing in the world to do. Alright, so we're going to give that a pull up, and let me move my paste before I start pulling paste up in the air. So, I'm going to give that a chalk pull. Ooh, look at those colors together, y'all. That looks phenomenal together. And can you imagine how this white is going to look underneath it? It's going to look stellar. Super duper cute. I love this Blue Jay with the candy apple. Super gorgeous. See, wasn't that worth the patience? That is freaking phenomenal. I love it. All right, so we're going to keep rolling. Remember, we've pulled and pulled and pulled and pulled and pulled, so we want to make sure that our transfer is pushed down I gotta get that pulled back up really quick. I'm just pushing away because I know that had some lift to it. So we're going to do the same thing right here. Super duper excited. We only have one more after this one. But again, we're just using our chalk pull method. I'm using our multi-tool to complete this task. And I mean, this is a very tedious thing. However, you could chalk one color if you wanted to. I was just trying not to be boring and show y'all that we can do this. The multi-tool is your friend. It works much like a pencil and gets all the little stuff done without any big deal. But it is, I mean, I will not lie, this is a little bit tedious for a live. But it shows you all the options that you have with Chalk Couture. Seriously, I could do one color and be ultra boring. Or I could show you how easy it is. Because it truly is easy. I mean, it's time consuming, yes. But it's not difficult to do. And you can make a stellar project. So, I'll give that a pull. The Blue Jay is gorgeous. Like, I'm floored. I don't think I've done it on, I don't think I've done it on black yet. I really don't think I have, because I would have remembered it. It is so super stellar gorgeous. I mean, gorgeous. Whew, love it. Okay, we only have one more letter, guys. Whoop, whoop. All right, let's push that down and let's do ourselves a favor and not pull down the camera. I'm just getting some of this excess placement tape. Sometimes whenever I chalk, I'll throw a piece of placement tape on my little Archon stand if it wasn't abused, so I can use it again. But I always forget that y'all are on there. Y'all are on my little stand, and then I maneuver you accidentally, not on purpose. So this is our last one. I'm super excited. But those little lines, they are going to be tedious, but I promise you they're going to be so worth it when we do them. It is going to be super gorgeous when we do the white. It's just going to be everything to this project. That I can promise you. So I will tell you, Memorial Day is one of those things. I just, you know, Memorial Day, Veterans Day, all of that stuff. Until I was an Army mom, I really, because I had never lost anybody that served in the service, or, you know, we often take our freedom for granted. I don't know about y'all, but especially during this pandemic, you start thinking about that kind of stuff. But just very grateful for all the men and women who have fought and sacrificed their lives, because I know that there are many. And super appreciative to them and to all our servicemen and women that are fighting now. So, hats off to everybody, because we cannot take our freedom for granted. For sure. Alright, we are to the end of our O, and I will tell you, I am slightly apprehensive that this dried, but hopefully not. It did not. Good. Alright. Let's dry. So, I will tell you we are to the end part of the white, and this is definitely, this is definitely one for the books, because I honestly definitely did not intend on this part of the project at all. It was not in my, whatever you want to call it, like plan. However, we did it, and it's great. So what I am going to do is I am going to be super cautious, and I am going to cover up my letters. Because, y'all, I worked really hard on making these perfect, so I don't want to ruin them. So I'm going to be a little bit OCD and cover up some letters because I don't want to ruin them. There's too much that could go possibly haywire right there. So I'm going to take my time. And if you want to keep on this live with me, you are more than welcome. But if you hop off, I'm not going to be offended. But I am going to take my time with this because I don't want to not take my time and then ruin it because I didn't take my time. So all I'm doing is I'm cutting our placement tape in half because it makes for an easier application. So all I'm doing is just literally slicing our placement tape in half. Now, I'm going to have to do a chalk pull method anyway, so I'm going to chalk one of these to at least show you what it looks like in case somebody is dying to leave, but they want to see what this looks like. And again, I'm not going to be offended, but I think it's going to be cool to stick around for because we also have to do sparklers. Sparklers won't take us long though because it is one color and it's going to be shimmering silver. So I am just chalking this. And again, I'm kind of being cautious still because even though I have a buffer with some of the areas here because of dried paste, I still want to be cautious, okay? I don't want to get all frisky and just chalk away. I'm still kind of exercising a little bit of caution and not getting crazy. So you also, anytime you're chalking and you have possibly excess paste that might or might not be wet, you do want to double check your multi-tool before you stick it back in white. Oh my heavenly stars. Whoop whoop. Yes, y'all, this is so cute. Okay. So now I'm super happy that I did this. Aren't y'all glad that I did this? I hope you can see it okay. Let me move this over just in case. That is freaking adorable. I think I need to come over a little bit further, but I will have to wait for this live to catch up. It takes forever and a decade for a Facebook Live to catch up. But let me move some stuff out of the way. Y'all, look at that. That is so cute. So cute. I can't even see if y'all can see, but I think you can. I am super stoked about that. I mean, who didn't want to spend all night doing that? We're going to not tape right here for a second, just so I can see how bad this is if I don't tape. I'm just going to check it out and see. Because, guys, that is freaking incredible. I think I may have enough buffer of dry chalk paste to not have to worry about taping. But I am going to see. I am so stoked about it. That was worth every blood, sweat, and tear that I just gave myself. Okay, I'm doing a little bit at a time because I'm not taping, so I don't want to over and dry. So we're going to be doing a lot of this. Thanks, Jen. Thanks, Mel. Thanks, Terry. I'm going to be doing a lot of chalk pulling. Y'all just bear with me, but it's better than taping off. Because, one, my placement tape is thin. My stash, anyway. I normally have a ton. And for whatever reason, I have used the stew out of it. And y'all know me, I'm not going anywhere because of where I work. So I need to order some washi tape from Amazon just to get me by until my order gets here. It'll be here soon, but you never know what I want to do. So I just don't go anywhere. I literally go to work and I come home. Or I go to Nothing Bundt Cake to do curbside pickup. Oh my stars. Wasn't this worth all the effort? I'm asking y'all since y'all are sitting there just watching in Facebook world. But I'm so excited. I mean, this is so stinking cute. And just think, even if you're brand new and you've never done Chalk Couture before, I promise you, you could do the same thing that I'm doing right here. Easily. Now, it may take you a little bit longer, but that would be okay. I mean, I just promise you that you can do this too. It is very, very easy, because what I'm showing you, I would teach at a class. This is exactly how I would teach people to do it. The chalk pull method goes a long, long way. It just helps so much. So Sparklers is going to be in one color, but I really think I'm going to use just shimmering silver, and I normally am not a big shimmering person fan, but I think it will look cute. And in fact, I've got some shimmer. Okay, I hope you have a good night, Terry. I've got some shimmer paste from one of our conventions. I can't remember which one. That I may end up using. I'll see. And I made the sad decision, guys, that I'm not going to go to ChalkCon this year. With my job and what I do, I just cannot risk it. So I'm not going to go this year, which kind of makes me sad. But guys, that is so cute. Stop it. I just cannot even. And this is all dry, so I'm able to touch like all these letters. So it's so easy. I don't know why I thought I had to have placement tape on the first one, but you do not. It's so dry that it creates like a buffer where you can't really go past it. And it works flawlessly. Look, super cute. I love the 3D effect it gives. Super stoked. Thank you, Michelle. How are you? Okay. Guys, this is just adorable. I'm going to try to get this last one done without chalk pulling first. Hopefully we won't dry. Okay. Ugh, I just love it. It makes me love the transfer even more. So the other part of the transfer says, fireworks, starry nights, country music, and barbecues. I will tell you right now, I don't think I'll do this on the next one because it's smaller letters, like way smaller letters. But it's the same type of lettering that we're doing right now on the word fireworks. I think it would be cute, but God almighty, that would be a lot of work because they're super small letters. We'll probably do those in just one letter. Good. I'm glad that you are enjoying it. You came just in time for the chalk pull party. I mean, I got on a crazy idea to do this in 3-dimensional looking colors instead of one. And super grateful I did, but I hope I didn't go in the red on that. I'm sitting here chatty Cathy. Okay. I'm being a little bit more cautious right here, guys, just because this is a little bit close to my O. Let me see if I ruined my D here. Hopefully I didn't. Barely. You can't see it enough for me to be panicked about it. I'm not panicking. I'm going to hold it up where y'all can see it, but even my OCD self is not panicking. I'm going to show you what it looks like, though, up close. So that D down at the very bottom, that's as close as I got. But Kim is not panicking about it. And normally I would panic about something like that, but I am not. I think it looks okay, and I'm not going to stress out. We're going to keep rolling. So still working with our white. We only have one more letter to go. So I wonder if I should do gold and silver sparklers for the word sparklers, or just silver. I'm thinking just silver, because I don't want to get crazy. Don't want to get crazy. I think the one will be pretty, instead of trying to dash it up with a whole bunch of different colors of gold and silver. I think one will be pretty, because that's what always I remember is just the silver sparklers. Like when I was little, we just had those sparklers that you could write your names in and all that stuff. We didn't have all the various colors that they do now. We just had plain old silver. So I think that that is truly what I'm going to stick with. It's just silver. Okay, let's hope that that is not bad. It's not. One more letter, my friends, and then we are good for the word sparklers. That looks so stinking cute. I'm so excited that I did that. So much better than one boring color. Okay, so we're going to start in the middle, or the outside rather, because we are going to have to pull this more than once because there's too much of it to not pull. So there is that part. I'm going to do this top part right here. And we're going to go ahead and get that pulled. Awesome. And we're down to our last letter. Last part of our letter. And then the word sparklers. So again, I'm doing this ambitious way of chalking. Probably, I definitely wouldn't recommend it for a first time chalk at all. But it is very easy for anybody that has never done Chalk Couture to do this. When I say very easy, I would teach this in a class to somebody. It would be super, super easy to do. You just have to have patience and not get in a hurry. So there is that. I'm going to pull this all the way back for just a second so we can give that a quick dry. Look at that, guys. That is just super cute. And I just want to look at the board really quick right there. It just looks like some of our little dots from our transfer has stuck to the board a little bit, but it's okay. Let me get that covered. And let me just wipe on the board super fast. I still have to laugh though, guys, because seriously, I think my dog, Bailey Winston, if y'all are used to, if y'all saw him during the Chalkathon, he's the one that paced back and forth during the lives. I think he's still traumatized by me chalking, because every time I come in here now, I don't want to say he panics, but it's kind of hilarious to watch him, because I feel like he panics a little bit. Now I have shimmer red, but what I'm going to tell you about my shimmer red, I'm not a fan, guys. I'm not a fan at all. It is one of those colors that, it's a rusty red, so it's not like a red, white, and blue red. It doesn't show up well on this. That's iridescent. I'm just looking at this color really quick to see what this is. This is one I got from a convention, so I don't know what it looks like, but I am going to see. We may do this one. This one may look reddish. Let me see. Guys, that's kind of pretty, but I don't know. It looks really pink. Looks really pink. I'm going to chalk, I'm just going to put a little bit on the board just to see what it looks like. No. It's too pink for this. We're going to stick with our silver. It's way too pink. Way, way too pink. That's how you can test, though. You can look at what your chalk paste or whatever color you're wanting to use looks like on there. And I'll actually, while I'm at it, since that's drying anyway, show you shimmer red. It's just not, it's real rusty looking. I'm not a big, huge shimmer red fan because it looks almost like rust on there. I'm going to stick with my silver, but that's what the shimmer red looks like on the black. So we're going to wipe that away. Let's dry our board super quick so we can get done with our word sparklers. And then we are done. Hey, Bailey Winston. Mama's almost done, buddy. I don't know if you can see him. He's like barely in the camera. He's off to the right. He's like freaking out. Because I've been in here longer than like 15 or 20 minutes. That's his time limit now for me. It's so funny. Because I was in here for all day, the day of the chalkathon. So he's like had it with my chalking. Okay, so we're getting all these letters pushed down. It is going to take a minute just because we are going over each letter and we've pulled. So your transfer is made out of silkscreen material. It is a material kind of like your stretchy pants that you wear at Christmas dinner or Thanksgiving. They work the same. So you kind of have to be careful. When we're doing all this chalk pull, chalk pull, chalk pull, and then we have dry paste on it, you will see some ripples in it. Once we get all the dry chalk paste off of it, it will be good. And we won't have any issues. But I did not realize how low I am on shimmer silver. I'm going to have to order some more. We are going to use our big squeegee. It's a small squeegee, but it's not a mini squeegee. And I am just going to squeegee on, squeegee off. I'm not really worried about this drying too quick because this one, guys, in the South, it takes forever, it feels like, for the shimmer paste to dry. So it just takes a little bit of time. So I'm not stressing out about it drying before we pull up. I'm just doing squeegeeing on, squeegeeing off. One fell swoop color, not multiple colors. Just making sure everything is covered well. And then I'm not going into my other colors. Even though it's dry chalk paste, it will still go through that silk screen if you accidentally chalk it. So you want to be really careful. But this is going to be so super pretty. If you've never seen the shimmer paste before, it is gorgeous. I'm just not a big fan of the red one. If it was bright red, I probably would be. One of the cool things too that you can do is you can take chalk paste, and let's say you didn't have a color that you wanted, and I wanted to do this in, let's say, a bright red, and I didn't have it. Well, you can actually take chalk paste, you can chalk your design. Then once you do your design pull, if all your other paste is dry, or not dry, yes, dry. If all your other paste like on your project is dry, you can totally put some glitter on it and it will stick to it. And there is our wonderful design. It's super cute. And I am going to show you this because I think it's important to point out a lot of Chalk Couture designs do come with what I would call some distress lettering. You can see it right there on Corn on the Cob and even the red, white, and blue. I'm going to flip this around though so you can see it. So all the places that you see all of those little teal little sparkles of stuff, that is there intentionally on purpose to create this effect that you see on our board now. All those pulled looks, that is there intentionally on purpose. So we're going to give this a quick little once over. Super, super cute though. I think my favorite part of the whole thing is definitely down here at the very bottom. Now, a lot of people see this and they're like, oh my gosh, is that going to come out? Yes, it is. I'm going to go straight to the bathtub. I actually have an industrial cookie sheet that makes it easy to clean. And once you reactivate all of that chalk paste, it's going to be great. But there is our Freedom, half of it. I'm going to hold up that sparkler so y'all can see that and all that glorious detail at the bottom. We used several chalk paste colors, so we're going to go over those really quick. Up here, we used a buttermilk for our corn on the cob. Here, we used poppy and meadow and just kind of blended them. Then we used shimmering silver, of course, candy apple red, white, and blue jay. And then the same thing down here, candy apple red, blue jay, and white. And we got that glorious look. But y'all, that is so cute. We're going to do all things Freedom and red, white, and blue over the next several days in honor of those that have served our country and lost their life for Memorial Day. But I hope that y'all are doing super fantastic and having a good night. I am going to clean some squeegees and a transfer, and I will be posting a picture of this on our page. But I hope you are having a great night, and I look forward to talking with you more soon. Thanks for watching.